Yenge, yenge. Salama. Mbote, usiemi. Greetings. Hello to all the Bana Betu of nZolele scattered across the earth, the Bakongo people, the nZambi, the Bena Yuda, the Bena Yisolele, the children of the promise, going back to our roots that were taken from us so many years ago. All praises to Tata nZambi, the Father Almighty, who is doing his work. The Mfumu Yisu, Congo, was continuing to help gather the sheep through all of us, the nZambi, as well. All praises to Tata nZambi and Pungu, the Almighty. I welcome all of you who are also non-Bantus as well. I don't discriminate. You know, I don't appreciate what people are doing in this world, and there's been a lot of wicked things that have happened, really wicked things that have put people in fear. And I honor those who have fought through it, despite what they had to go through. And sometimes you didn't always have to do what you wanted. But, you know, this is the proof that they can never stop, nor will be able to stop what's coming, despite what they intend to do. I'm going to go into more detail about some of the things that people are seeing. And I talked about February. We're at a turning point now as King Congo is transitioning. The war against Tata nZambi will now turn in his favor, as they will do their best part to continue to deceive the world about the whole process of what's going on. But first of all, I'm going to play this song. I'm going to play it on my computer this time, and I'm hoping that I don't get a strike. Because I don't own the copyrights to this song. I'm gonna play this song because I'm gonna show you something that they've known. And there's actually some people in Britain that talk about Puso Congo, Isu, and some other things that happened with Paula and them. What they're claiming, of course, they don't ever find any proof of certain things, but they like to cover things up because the Most High has not shared everything with everybody. And that was the reason for that. Because when you make assumptions, you're going to make yourself look foolish when the Most High exposes it. And that's why I'm glad that I tried to keep myself, that he started to break me down, make me more humble. You know, today I've reached my 49th year on this earth. And I'm glad that Tata nZambi has given me more revelation, despite the fact that I've always been walking in the way like I should, because we know we are still dealing with a lot of things in this land. And many of us are still continuing to learn the way of the Most High from those that may know it, and also to discern the good from the bad as well, from those who are working their scams versus those who are really trying to help our people return. I honor those because, like I said, truth is truth, no matter who says it, through our elder. I didn't get a chance to watch the video that they made, but Tata nZambi was saying that there's going to be I'm going to talk about some things today that is what I've been trying to push all along, because you know, we're saying we're looking, when we're supposed to be, and that's been the biggest deception of the deceivers, because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people don't even know about. That the whole point of being a Bantu, a Bena Congo, a Bena nZambi, a Bantu Bendway, is that you are supposed to be a teacher of the way of the Most High. You are supposed to be a doer of the way of the Most High, and you are supposed to be like Hamashiach. And that's been how the fallen ones continue to manipulate their advantage because when Tata nZambi turned the world over to the hands of the wicked, they have masked this way, and they have gotten people who should be in the way to go the opposite, or to focus more on the golden calving type of stuff than to actually. We do honor what our ancestors and those who have done that try to walk in the way of the Most High, but you must also be like the Most High. And that's what becomes in Zones. And when we talk about nZambi, the house of the Almighty, you must be like the house of the Almighty. And this is one thing I'm always reminded of, even in my walk, and it's hard to do it here in the land of captivity, or what we call Babylon. I think people are lying. We think we're lying. They gave it to you. They put it in your face. It's Babylon, New York. But, people don't want to see that. I posted something on Facebook, as a matter of fact, talking about the ignorance of people who don't understand the difference between a republic and a democracy. They just listen to what politicians keep telling them. And they don't even know that the republic itself is being controlled by those who put those people in front of you. But that's because they dumb down the sheeple for that very reason, so that you will believe what they say and not see what they do. And that's the whole concept. But anyway, I want to give all praises to the nZambi and play the music. Again, I don't own the copyrights. I don't own any of the distribution rights. It's not for me to resell in any way. It's only for the edification of this ministry that I'm doing. People ignore it because they say, oh, you never went through the clergy, you never went through all of these different things. And that was also part of the strong delusion, because the Creator teaches you, you don't learn the Creator. This is the whole problem of why the world is under so many strong delusions, and why they believe in so many false pastors, because they use a lot of charismatic preachers for that reason, to stir you up your soul, to stir you up and get you emotional, to where I'm going to talk about 2 Timothy, its pure meaning, when you start believing fables and you don't even realize you're already believing fables that started hundreds of years ago. And that's the stories are being told. And then the problem is the people who are telling the stories, they don't even have all the full scriptures themselves. And that's the delusion. Anyway, all right, so let me play the song, we'll get into it, and then we'll talk about this message, which I'm calling, the intent is to say Tata nZambi does not recognize a religion. So there's no Christianity, there's no Islam, there's no Judaism, there's no religious concepts to the Creator himself. You have been deceived by many people. The followers of the Messiah, he never called them Christians. And so this is something even that Mayamona, as he set up the assembly, we know there's even other Congolese people that have said it's Baklistu, and they know certain things, but because of the problem of colonization, you have to watch what you say, you have to watch your step, and you can't push too far. And that's why that's why the Most High, there's many things he didn't even reveal to him. Okay. Kusu Kongo there's things that Kusu Kongo didn't get revealed to him by his own father, because the Most High was well aware of how the manipulation would take place, even of the disciples. People don't even know there's things that were revealed to the disciples that they didn't write down. So the church doesn't even have it all. The 7 assemblies, they don't even have the full gospel, because it wasn't even written down. Okay. And that's part of the reason why people don't even know. They want to keep going to the Bible. That's why Simon Kumbangu had to say, catch the thief, because there's tidbits of the truth in there, but it's not the full truth, not even close, not even a little bit. And that's why they use that rebel. I'm gonna pull it up here, that got that teaching. I'm gonna play the song as I'm doing that. So please enjoy the music, hopefully, and then I'll get back to you on that. Sonini by Niamo. You want to check out, I'll post a link in the song. Check out her channel. But like I said, I don't own the rights to this music. Sonini means I am. Like the song. Such a wonder or amazing. There will be the sun. The Lord who is Hey, Tata nZambi. King Kong, Yave, Mfumu Yave. Oh, praises. Kemo to nZambi. So nini na nini. I am that I am. So nini. Bayeti. First of all, I want to give Kemo to Tata nZambi and Mfumu Lendo a Congo Yave, Matonam Tata nZambi. I call upon you, Bana Betu, Father, to come down, Tata nZambi, Monakumba say, your mother Velida Musari Seto, Sakupanzo and Zinga, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Tata nZambi, call upon you once again to bring this message, Father. You've been putting it on my heart to talk about this week. And of course, with this special day, I'm going to use this to honor you and not myself. And to do the righteous way, hopefully to continue to move this be a year of more righteousness and less wickedness of any kind that would offend thee, that we move to do the way of the Most High and not our own way, to turn away from the lusts of the heart and focus on the spirit. Tata nZambi, with Matona Masaki's life, for what you are doing, I ask that you, Father, would block anything that would cause any interference or any type of unrighteousness ways to interfere. That the Maliki Congo would be in protection. Ingeta na kome bene Yave Congo ingeta. I give honor to Kuso Congo Yisu, Bayeti, to the Mwana Velala, the Moya, the set apart spirit, the Moya and Pevi, Moyo, the Holy Spirit. I also give honor to the Pemba Kalunga, Yengi Pemba Kalunga, of all of the Pemba, the waters above the waters, the heavens, for those who are looking down upon us, sorrowful for what's going on with the Bana Betu and the way the world's been deceived by so many things, for turning our back on you, on King Congo. We ask that hopefully Tata nZambi will help to restore the connections of more of our people. I give honor to all the Bana Betu, nZolele, who made it through the Pemba Kalunga to the seventh heaven, to the Asalama Maliki Congo. That the Maliki Congo would help us to become more and more aware of the Mbasi. I give all of you, all the way down to Adamaya, the righteous. I honor all of you who are doing the Most High's work in this time to restore the knowledge that Tata nZambi took from us, Hosea 4 and 6. People think the knowledge has been turned over to the Christians and they have no clue that their knowledge has been modified. And that's why Tata nZambi is like, how can they think they know? And I'll explain to that here in a minute. What I'm going to do, I'm going to first read Timothy, 2 Timothy, that talks about the fables and when that started, because people don't understand they're living in that time already. They think the Messiah was born in a manger that was in an inn, and that wasn't true. There's even the scriptures that talk about he was born in a cave and they took it out. So you know they were giving up to fables. So we're going to get started on that. This is the song here. I know I posted in the link, but you'll see it in the video as well. So people say, hey, you know, what does it look like? This is the song I just played. First, I'm going to read it in English. Timoteo, we know it's not Timothy. That's one of the fables. We know the creator's name was not God. And we know the Mfumu was never called Jesus Christ. That's all part of the fable too. So they put the fable in the Bible and then have you thinking that you're believing the truth. That's part of the deception of the Church of Laodicea. the Laodiceans, who fell away from the Most High because they replaced Kusa Kongo with Nimrod, and that's through the deception of Simon the Magus, the sorcerer, and all those other people who were worshiping his pagan beliefs, claiming to be the Most High and the Messiah. And we're seeing that even happening now in this time, manifesting through many of the secret societies and also through the elites. Because I'm going to get into that, because everybody hates Tata nZambi. That's why they'll say, that's why they were so glad when we turned against them, because they said, wow, we now can get the payback from way back. That's what they were doing. Now Tata nZambi says, you recompense me, I recompense you. Let me get to that scripture. Yole. Yole, 3 and 4. This is actually what really happened to us. This is what's coming. They don't even know. It's already starting, actually, but they've hidden the truth. Okay. I charge thee, therefore, before I'll say God, but it's Tata, Mfumu Yave. This is Yahweh, and Mfumu Yesu Christu, who's for Congo, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. See, this is going to tell you, he said it, this is not my time to rule. So then whose kingdoms are, you're in Satan's kingdom. When he left, that's why they mock him as the cowardly lion. Oh yeah, you went to run with daddy, okay? This is what they always do that they don't even know behind closed doors. Oh, he ran to daddy. he's a chicken. That's where they get the chicken stuff, okay? They always mocking him as a chicken. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, and exhort in all long suffering and doctrine. Reprove, rebuke, and exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. People don't understand. They keep talking about, oh, forgive, forgive, forgive. The scriptures themselves says if people don't turn away from sin, you need to rebuke them. The Most High even says it in Isaiah, you don't forgive people who worship idols. Jesus loves everybody. He didn't say that. Revelations 3:9 says that. Go sit down somewhere. This is what they taught you. And I'm going to get to the reason why. He didn't even speak to the Canaanite woman. For the time will come and they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. When did this happen? See, in Christianity and the churches today, they really believe that they're not listening to fables because their pastor's sitting up there preaching the truth. No, he's not. He is he is the Christian pastors today, whether they have known it or not, are 2 Corinthians 11. They are this. They don't know it, but they are. Because they have hidden this whole concept, and like I revealed it to you, this was for the purpose of repeating the days of Noah unawares, so that people wouldn't know you are the days of Noah. For the past 500 years, they did exactly the same thing like what happened the 500 years before the flood when they tricked the seed of Seth, into thinking that Shaitani was Adama. But of course, by removing that scripture from the Bible, you don't know this, which was in the books of Adam and Eve, because there were more books than Genesis than you can ever know. Oh man, there's scriptures about the beginning of the earth that's not even written down. So you can't have the full scripture. I'm waiting for that time to come. They're not even written down. That's why I'm trying to tell people, man, don't ever just think that because people are reading from the Bible that they're telling you the full truth, because even they don't have it. The Most High did that for a reason. That's why you need the Wandavela of the Holy Spirit to actually reveal the stuff that's not even written down. So this scripture right here is already happening for the last 1900 years. This was Constantine. This was all of the popes that came through the Catholic Church. This is all of even the Eastern Orthodox people that you think they got it right. They don't. They mixed up stuff too. This is the people who think that they got all the truth coming from the Nazarites and everything. I'm telling you, there's crafty teaching everywhere, because Tata nZambi, the King of Kings, he already knew what was going to happen when he laid the foundation, and he revealed certain things, and then he sent strong delusions a lot who didn't reveal the truth. You have so many people keep talking, it's funny how they play this game when they talk about Antichrist and false messiahs, and you don't even know that you're already following one. Because they switched out Nimrod a long time ago into all the religions, including Christianity. And that's why when the tribal revelation came, it was such a threat, him and Kimbangu and Padi and Matswa, that they then needed to do their part to interfere with that as well. And that's why you're thinking some things that people don't even know. And so I'm glad that the Most High didn't reveal everything. All praises. All right, so let's go to I want to say this also in the Kikongo, because this is actually what it was about. Kadi and Tangusi Yakala, I'm right here. Yibalembwa, Vibidila Ndungolo, Yavamvimpi, Hansi Banina, Nzinunu Zayu, Kibeni, Si Bakiyudikila, Milongi means teaching, Bubena Mfisi Mumatu Mao, Si Bevangisa Matu Mao Mu Kedika Ye Tadisa Kunsangu Sasokwa. See, that's why I'm not throwing out the Bible, but I'm using the test of thief. Because they were actually more so would have been speaking in the Lingala, because these are all Hebraic based languages. So I'm gonna start from verse 1. Kotea liloba. Yango wana libosa na nZambi mpe ya Yesu Kristo. Kuswa Kongo. Oyo akusambisa bata ya bomoyo mpe bakufi mpe na makanisi ya kolengela koya na yempe ya Bokonzi is king, na yenzali kopesa ya mitindo oyo. Tea liloba betela yango seta, I'm on verse 2. Na tango ya malamu tote. Zongisa nanzela Pamela. Ever heard of a woman named Pamela? There's a word right there. Mpe lindisa nanzela ya Mateya to teach. Mateya, that was Matthew's name. That's why you get Mate, because they follow in the feminine and masculine rule now in the Latin. But his name was Mateya, the Most High teaches. Na yompe na kuganga motemo. Pambate na mikolo ekoya bato bakolinga. Disusote koyoka mateya. Ya solo kasi bakomilukela bango moko kolana baposa na bango. Bango is what they call the Mzungus or the Kadiampemba or the Gentiles. Moko kolanda baposo na bango. Batei oyo bako yebisa yango bango makambo oyo matoi na bango esepelaka koyoka. Because remember, this is their verbs. They're being conjugated. Bakoboya koyoka mateya yasola mpe bakomipesa makasi na koyoka masapo. Again, you have already been given fables for a long time, over 500 years or more, because they were rebuilding the kingdom of Cain on earth, because of what I talked about last time, when Tata nZambi turned the world over to the hands of the wicked. One of the things that was done was the merging of realms. They open, then these people do it, you even see it on the TV. They open portals that they're not supposed to open. They let spirits come in, they're not supposed to be there. And those spirits are masquerading like the way they're not supposed to be. And that's what they started to worship. Because the fallen angels opened, they taught them how to open the portals between the realms where people were sent to prison. Okay, they mocked it on the movie Constantine. He's trying to come to the mirror. They never try to do that. They're hiding it. They lie. They already do. Realistically speaking, Atlantis is a portal. You can open the portal to there. That's why they see, oh, these planes and these ships disappear. Where did they go? They opened the portal. That's why they went in with it. And the time, the reason why they don't age or anything is because we're in the process of the time that they messed up, because that's why people have been talking about it. The time space continuum. That's why it's 1,000 years with the Most High was one day, because the concept of time only applies to flesh, not the spirit. But they still count because they know the clock better than you do, because they modified it, changed the times and laws, and they kept that away from people. See, this is right here. Malaco is how we said mark. So that's what I'm trying to tell them. Like, if you teaching people that Christianity and the Latin or the English is the correct way, then you're gonna write the way you learn, not the way you believe, not your own language, but the way you learn it. If you never knew it before. See, if something is brand new to you, you're going to use the word that they taught you. Oh, that's Mark. Okay, his name is Mark. You're going to say, oh, Mark. You know how you say people? Why would you put Malaco if you're speaking in Latin? People don't understand how stupid people are these days. Why did I play the song Sonini? One of the missing gospels that they kept from people is called the lost chapter of Acts 29, which they claim there was no proof that Paul journeyed to Spain and Britain. Man, first of all, there's ways to travel without actually being on a boat, but we'll leave that alone because people don't even know. The Maliki can open portals. You're in Colorado, you step through, you're in Florida. Okay, let's go there. See, that's how we know. I'm telling people they don't even know. You can be in one place or the other. They do it themselves, by the way. Yeah, I'm putting that out there. Okay. Um, it's called the Sonini manuscript. Ha! Wait a minute. Sonini, which is what he's supposed to be, what they call a higher, a share, a higher. They call it a higher. Sonini. Why does it say Sonini if it's a higher? Which is the Yiddish, a hair, a share, a higher. Okay? It says the manuscript was found interleaved in a copy of Sonini's Travels. Sonini means I am. So they're referring to Paolo as Sonini in spirit. Ha! See? We're telling him he'll move too. Bana Betu, you see? They know. And I'm going to get into why. The legend of the Jews, of the Yaoundé, the Bayuda, talks about the real blessing, and also it's going to talk about what really happened when he encountered Esau when he came back. This is why they don't really have these full scriptures in there, because it disproves many things. Okay. Now pay attention. Let me go back to see if I can do the beginning of the blessing. This, I'm gonna actually, let me see. Now, of course, in Yasha, it also say he put on the, okay, so this is gonna be what we told you. And I know they got these somewhere, and I'm hoping that the time will come, but because they stole them back. But Yakubi's hesitation has not yet removed. His father, he feared, would touch him and convince him that he was not hairy and therefore not his son Esau. Remember I told you Esau was a Bakong. He spoke Kikongo, okay? So they know. Accordingly, Rebecca tore the skins of 2 kids into strips and sewed them together. I want you to understand, this is why the goat god is such a key role in the deception of the many people. Because of the goat god symbolism, this is all connected to, that they now use. Because they know that this is something that happened when Yakubi stole the blessing from Esau. There was goat skin involved. Okay? For Yakubi was so tall, a giant that otherwise they would have sufficed to cover his hands. Whoa! How big was Yakubi? I told you there was a story about the man who was talking about the Hopi, about the 2 twins that fought against the giants. And remember, Esau went after Nimrod and his giants. When he killed Nimrod, Yakubi did the same when he went after other giants. This is why they covered up the fact that the giants even exist today. You'll even hear, there was a Catholic preacher told me, we never found any proof that the fallen angels had. Yeah, because they work for them. They're going to keep this a secret. The CIA know they're there. Because you're living in the days of Noka now, but you don't. There was a person that showed this video, and I guess it was cloaked, so you couldn't see the giant himself, but the trees were being ripped up and tossed out of nowhere. Okay? It was on this video that they showed. They said, oh yeah, that could be film. No, they know that they're around. Okay? Yakubi was so tall a giant that otherwise they would not have suffered to cover his hands. To make Yakubi's disguise complete, Rebecca felt justified in putting Esau's wonderful garments on him. They were the high priestly remnant in which Tata nZambi had clothed Adama, which was the leopard skin. Who wears the leopard skin now? What people you see wearing leopard skin? Hey. This is why there's a duality involved, because you see the Zulu, they wear the leopard skin because they were connected to the army of Davidi. And also Davidi himself wore the leopard skin as well, Intino Davidi, and so did Nimrod. So that's why those who believed in Osiris started to wear the leopard skins too. And that's why now in Hollywood and other places, you see them doing the animal print. They're not just doing that just because it's the fashion. They're honoring their version of their God, the imposter, while at the same time recognizing that those clothes were given and stolen away, that were given to him, that the Most High, that through Esau and Yakubi, they got stolen back. But Esau had them, and this is how Yakubi had them, but now I know they have them. So the priestly robes have, in Kissi, they have power. Okay, so does the weapons. This is where they really get the concept of wands, and the Merlin, the rod, and these things. They're looking for the rod of Merlin when they were putting it in a movie, because power can be given over to inanimate objects. Even the Most High used a staff. The word that we go to, because see, these are the Banzenza who have done this. We call them Ngoy. That's where they got it from. The Ngoy means the people, the Gentiles, and they saying that they calling the people the Ngoyim, but they themselves are also the Ngoy to us. This is what they're hiding. So when we look at the word for staff, it would be Bantuya Kisalu, Wonkisi, or Inti. You see, Tainkisa. Tainkisa. That's where the kisi comes from, the staff. That's why they have in the Bantu songs, there's a song that they talk about, how the words go? And Tota Maya Mona, I see a Bantwe, and they say kisi, they say kisi of nZambi, okay? That's where it comes from, okay? The firstborn of the world, for the days before the erection of the tabernacle, all the firstborn males officiated as priests. From Adama, these garments descended to Noka, who transmitted them to Nsemu. Now, we watch this, what happened. How did they get in the hands of Nimrod? All the firstborn males officiated priests from Adama. These garments descended to Noka, who transmitted them to Nsemu, Shem, and Shem bequeathed them to Abana, and Abana to his son Isaka, from whom they reached Esau, the older of his two sons. It was the opinion of Rebekah that as Yakubi had bought the birthright from his brother, he had thereby come into possession of the garments as well. So you have these garments that come from Adama, and then you also had the leopard skin. So you see, there was a passing of priestly robes that has to make you be from nZambi. Okay? This is why you would see Bantu people wearing certain priestly robes. So mostly we were white, okay? It was the opinion of Rebecca that Yakubi had bought the birthright from his brother, and he had thereby come into possession of the garment as well. So you know something happened here. How did, so you have to look at, so somewhere between, and they don't tell him the full story, because in Jasher, somewhere between this process, comma, because they're not saying his name wasn't Ham. Okay? That name, they use that name a lot because they're referring to pork. Comma took and snuck it to Kukesh. They didn't belong. And Samuel was, so, but in Samuel, how did Samuel get them back? Okay. Something had to have happened when Abana was, when Samuel, was they call him Maliki Sadeki, was speaking to Abana, Abraham, to teach him the way that he would then bequeath them, okay? That priestly robe was passed down to the righteous seed. They tried to hijack it, the Most High got it back. There was no need for her to go and fetch them from the house of Esau. So Esau had his own house already. He knew his wives far too well to entrust so precious a treasure to them. So you could tell that Esau, remember he had relationship with many strange wives, he didn't trust his own wife. Think about that. He knew they were in safekeeping from the side. He used the most to frequent the house of his parents. As a rule, he did not lay much stress upon decent apparel. He was willing to appear in the street clad in rags, but he considered it his duty to wait upon his father to array in his best. Now do you see why people will dress in rags? Where it really comes from? When you say, man, well, you look like a bum, you know. But bum is actually a Bantu word. I mean, there's certain words that they now affiliate with bad that used to mean good, like bobo. I think it's a clown, but no, bobo actually meant high. You'd be surprised, caca, you know, that they reverse a lot of words. As a king in my sight, it would be ill become to serve before him in anything but royal apparel. To the great respect he manifested toward his father, the descendants of Esau owe all their good fortune on earth. This is why, like I said, they're teaching everything backwards for a reason. Thus does Tata nZambi reward a good deed. Rebecca led Yakubi equipped arrayed in this way to the door of Nsaka's chambers. Remember, Isaac is not a name. The Isaac, I comes from you know where. Nsaka means to laugh. Seka. That's where they get it from. There she parted from him with the words, henceforth, may thy creator assist thee. Yakubi entered the addressing Isaka with father, so Tata, and receiving the response, here I am. That's a Manuyan. I always say Manuyandi I. That's why you're supposed to say, here I am. Who art thou, my son? He replied, it is I, thy firstborn son, Israel. See, now this is why Simao Toko, when he did his thing in, when he took the transfusion as Mayamona from the Portuguese, when they had him in prison and they took his heart, one of the things he said was, this was considered he recognized that this was deceitful. So he fixed this curse, or fixed this, how this was considered a trickery. This is why the world is about trickery back. This is why this was going to lead to the trickery that would then be similar to like what happened with and I'll get to that story. Part of the reason why Insetha's children were tricked by Shaitani is Shaitani himself felt that the Most High tricked him by saying, you know, this is you're supposed to be, I'm supposed to be the angel of fire. Why would you make me bow down to flesh? This is a trick or something, right? So in the mind of the devil, he felt that he was being tricked. This is why trickery is part of the whole concept of deception. And Most High's like, this ain't no trick, this is real. Okay? He felt that he was being betrayed. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be the firstborn Maliki. I'm a Maliki above all Malikis. Why is this man going to be above me? Okay, this is the trickery concept. Okay. Firstborn, he sought to avoid a falsehood and yet betrayal. Now remember, Yakubi's name was also known as Simba because he grabbed Jacob's heel. And in this same book, it talks about the conversation. I think Yaya Mikemasa, he put that on there through his channel where they talk about, it's in the book of the Jews that they were writing, where the conversation that was going on between Eswe and, of course, Yakubi, which is why they call it legend, because they're like, how can babies be talking? But people don't understand spirituality is a lot different than it is now. A lot of things are not what people think that they know. Okay? People don't even know Kuswa Kongo didn't do no Google Gaga stuff when he was a baby. He could actually speak. You didn't have to teach him how to speak. He knew how to speak already. Yeah. Come near, I pray thee, that I might feel there, my son. A cold sweat covered his body, and his heart felt like wax. Then Tata nZambi caused the archangel. Now here, this is how you can tell, because of what happened in the womb, the Most High favored this more so than you think. Because he's going to send then the nZambi caused the Makai nZambi and Gabriel to descend. This is why these angels are mocked today. This is part of it. The one seized his right hand and the other left, while he, Tata nZambi himself, supported him that his courage might not fail. And Saka felt him and found his hands hairy. He said, the voice is Yakubi's voice, but the hands are the hands of Eswe. Words in which he conveyed the prophecy that so long as the voice of Yakubi is heard in the houses and prayer and learning. So you don't understand that what happened between Yakubi and Eswe was prophesied before they were born. So this was the fulfillment. When the Most High said there will be two wombs in one nation, this is why I keep trying to tell the people, the world was divided into Esau and Yakubi. That's it. Esau's nation is now countries through the spirit of the fallen angels, and of course, because of what happened with Nimrod and Canaan. You know, people, they tell this, I mean, I'm gonna tell you. The original Jasher is inaccurate. The Jasher you see today has some inaccuracies. Okay, that's why when I read the scripture before, there's this thing before the book where it talks about how Kama came to laugh at Noka was through his son Canaan. People don't understand spiritual portals that the Malekis were starting to open after the flood when people were doing sinning. Like it said, when this is how it works. When Shaitani caused Noka to get drunk, he opened the portal to his own seed. Okay? He opened he allowed the devil to come in. And this is where that access brings in the spirits that are attached to the fallen angels, and they will then use you to open more portals that allows those other worlds that I talked about to come in and merge with you. That's why in the apocalypse of Bana, he said, these are the children of light's fault. But the earth was starting to get messed up because what did they do? They gained access because Noka was drunk. This is the concept where you get drunk with the wine of the harlot started. Because it wasn't just a physical wine, it was a spiritual wine. Because if she came through and because she's attached, okay, to the devil, this is why you have to be sober, or else the devil will what? Deceive you. So that's why in Timothy it talks about the world has been given over unto fables, okay? That did not just happen. Okay? In a way that people don't know, like this or past few hundred years or whatever with what they believe in the religion. No, you have been drunk off the wine of the harlot for generations with this type of stuff. Okay? Yakubi heard in the house our praises. In the hands of Israel will not be able to prevail against him. Yeah, he continued. See, that's why he's saying, this is why you go to Malachi, it says the children of Yakubi, nZolele, are never consumed. This is what we're talking about. This is why no matter what they try to stop the Bana Betu, it can't happen. Because it's saying in the blessing, this is why they're doing the reverse now. So you don't know. That's why it became a problem when Bantu people started to wake up. Wait a minute, we are the house of, we are part of the, and then you see certain things started to come out. This is part of the prayer, the blessing. That's why this whole concept with World War III has nothing to do with what they're saying. There's a duality with it. One is fulfilling prophecy of the Creator against the harlot, burn with the flesh. Okay? The king shall turn against the whore. The problem is you don't know where the whore is. They lied about that. The whore represents libertas. Okay? That's why Rome divided itself into different sections. The Holy Roman Empire is the earth right now, divided into different sections. The United States is the military. I saw this in a video. They are the religion. England is the government, and they said another area was it's the four. They call them the four pillars. Okay, this is where you get the four pillars from, in the mockery of the four pillars that's supposed to hold up the earth. Okay. You have government, you have military, you have religion, and then you have business. Okay, those four things are divided among the world. That's why anybody who doesn't comprehend, this is what the militaries are for. They're like I told you, it's no different than hiring a firm, because that's what the people who do the espionage for all these different people is corporate espionage. So then the militaries are like the giant police force for the corporation. For each corporation they set up, your military is your police force. Well, because you are sitting in the Babylonian Empire, they believe that they are the police force for the entire world. And that's what Russia's saying. Hey, who are you anymore? Because it's the Milia, Jeremiah 51 says, the Russians went against Babylon before, when it was over in the land, over by Iraq and all that area. They're going to talk about the Nineveh, because this is why those descendants don't like bounty people. Nobody understands that that we never forget what Tata nZambi did to us. And his people must suffer no matter what, now that he's not with them. And they know this whole concept is the nation is a that's why it's a conglomerate of families that hide behind this truth. That they hate Tata nZambi because they remember what he did to all of the lineages, including when I talked about when he sent the crows. Remember, I told you, he said the 10 generations, he sent out crows. Now you see why you got scarecrows out here. Now you see why people say, oh, the crows were dying. They showed them dead. Okay? Because the crow took the eye of the king of Nineveh, which was Nimrod. Okay? But this was when Nineveh was moved into, smushed into Embo, as Cassiopea at that time. The voice imposed upon the heaven and earth, for even the Maliki may not raise their voices in praise until nZolele has finished his prayers. Powerful. The Saka's scruples about blessing this Benham that before him were not yet removed. But with his prophetical eye, he foresaw that this one would have descendants who would vex Tata nZambi. He could see, we talked about Mayamona. This is a Mayamona. Oh, I can see. Oh yeah, we made the Most High mad, all right. We're sitting there scattered. Right there. At the same time, it was revealed to him that even the sinners of nZolele would turn penitents, and then he saw he was ready to be like a blessed Yakubi. He bade him come near and kiss him to indicate that it would be Yakubi. That's why he says seal with a kiss. But some of these things come up for a reason, right? The kiss of death or the kiss of life? Which one are you getting? See, when you do deal with demons, you get in the kiss of death. When you deals with the Tata nZambi, you get in the kiss of life. Before he was consigned to the grave, he and none other. When Yakubi stood close to him, he discerned the fragrance of the paradise clinging to him, and he exclaimed, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field which Tata nZambi has blessed. Bilaka. So that's the whole concept. This is why the Maliki Congo prefer the sweet smell. And if you watch the movie that you saw, that many people saw, the second Ghost Rider, why do you think the devil was all about decay? Okay? That's why we're living in a decaying world right now. Because you are worshiping the dead. You just don't know it. Why do you think so many people are obsessed with the dead bones? Okay? Now, of course, we know we go pray, we go to Congo, we prayed at the graveyard, but those bones were the people who were living. This is part of the reason why they consume Bantu people. What you call so-called, cannibalism. You don't even know. It didn't stop. They eat the lambs. The fragrance emanating from Yakubi was not only the thing about him derived from paradise. The Maliki Congo had fetched thence the wine. People, this right here is symbolic of the correct version of what they want to call the Eucharist. He did not say, to drink my flesh. This is the Bantu Bakongo, the Bana Betu way. that they're describing. When you say break bread, we come into a brotherhood, drink the wine. It's coming from the Maleki Congo, Makaya nZambi, when Kusma Congo had the meeting with the Abafundi, the disciples. Where did the wine come from? Hey, the kingdom. Watch this. The archangel McFetch thence the wine that Yakubi gave his father to drink, that an exalted mood would descend upon him, for only when a Muntu is joyously excited, the Shekinah rests upon him. The Shekinah is what they want to call it. That's the Pemba Kalunga. That's the Pemba Kalunga that they're calling the Shekinah. This is from the Hittites. We said Pemba Kalunga. So let them have what they want. See, in order for you to be with the real creator of Tata nZambi, the Pemba Kalunga must come upon you. Everything else is other people's gods. Has nothing to do with him. That's why they don't want to tell the truth. Now listen to this. The Manabetu filled in Saka, and he gave Yakuba his tenfold blessing. Whoa! This is not in the Bible. Why do you think that is? This is the reason why Tata nZambi favors the house of Yakuba only. When it says, Yakubi I love, Eswe, Eso I hate. This is why now the world is being masqueraded with the false interpretation. I got the Holy Spirit. Wait a minute. Where did your wine come from? This is what allows you to receive the living water. That's why when this happens to you, and the Most High, that's why he said it's not time yet for many people. You saw what they did to Kimbangu. Hey, you saw what they did to Simon Toko. In order for us to be like Tata nZambi, to be like King Congo, to be like the Pemba Kalunga, you and Mikaele better be buddies. Umpangi. Makaya nZambi brought the wine. They put this here for a reason. Do you see this in the church? When they get ready to set up for communion, does the archangel bring the wine? Do you see the priest change water into wine? No, they go to the grocery store, buy the juice. Now, can you be symbolic in this time? Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, Makaya nZambi show up with vino to your house. Hey, who is this guy? They're gonna come looking for you. Hey, who is this guy? Simon Toko, who are you? Kimbangu, who are you? You're gonna see people being deceived. The wine comes from the Most High. The Malekiko, that's one of the reasons why you got the spirit that can change it into wine, water, but then you also have the sweet wine. Hey, we got the best wine. The nZambi gave thee of the dew of the heaven, the celestial dew wherewith the nZambi will awaken the pious to new life in days to come, and of the fatness of the earth, the goods of this world. Now, that blessing blows up Christianity 1,000%. Why? Because if you have the Holy Spirit upon you in righteousness, and this is even for myself, this is why I got to work hard over here. We all got to work hard over here to fight these spirits. Because they know if you become nZambi, for real, this is why you got so many people out here jacking people up in secret that you don't even know. When you have the power, okay, you're going to create problems. They're going to say, who is this guy? This is why in Christianity, I saw people, oh, revival, oh yeah, we singing to Jesus. We're bringing back the church, hold on. Did you receive this manifestation? Christians don't even know this happened. Oh, then what's going on? They don't even know this. Oh, they just go to the church. Oh yeah, have me my piece of bread, have me my drink. They don't even know that Makaya and Michaele brought the wine. The wine came from the Pemba Kalunga. They call it the Shekinah, the Pemba Kalunga. The nZambi anointed the blessing himself. Because Michaele is the Umbasi of Tata nZambi. And plenty of corn and wine. This is one of the reasons why when we obeyed the Most High, the land was overflowing with like milk and honey, where you had abundance of food, abundance of wealth, abundance of everything. And you didn't have to beg for one coin. That's why he was angry when we mistreated our brothers and sisters and disobeyed. That's how they knew. How do you defeat these people? Get them to sin against the Creator. Then the curses will come. Look at here. Abundant harvest. This right here exposes a lot of things. You go look and see what's going on over there in the Middle East. There's people right now rioting against the government of Israel. Something is wrong. Okay? It says, peoples shall serve thee. Oh, this is going to be why you were in Massa House doing the serving. Oh, let's get started. You want to know why Bakongo Ben nZambi became servants? While you went into slavery and you had to serve master. Master gonna beat. They still, this is real today. People working as maids, people working as servants in the hotel industry, taking care of other people. Because now, even forcing each other, we serving each other like we supposed to be higher than oh, now you serve me. Do you understand where this comes from now? You're gonna see, shall bow down to thee. Oh, in the book of Revelation, it says, oh, you don't bow. Man, I'm telling you, that had nothing to do with the Gentiles. They didn't have the law the way that we did. But yet you see people doing what? If that were true, why are they bowing to the Pope? People, they have played people for a fool. And send me, they shall be Mfumu over thy brethren, and the Ishmaelites and the descendants of Keturah. Thy mother's son shall bow down to thee. Esau and his princes, cursed be everything that curses thee, like Balaam, and Bilaka be everyone that blesses thee, like Morsi. Oh, man. Now do you understand why they don't want the Bakongo to have what belongs to them? The negroes, they took it from the kingdom of Congo because we argued amongst our brethren, and Tata nZambi said, go out. We still don't get it. For every blessing invoked upon Yakubi by his father. This is why they blessed us in secret and they make us curse ourselves. For each Balak invoked upon Yakubi by his father in Sakat, a similar blessing was bestowed upon him by Tata nZambi himself in the same words. Tata nZambi blessed us from up there. This is why Christianity has been meant to believe that they are now the spiritual Israel. 2 Timothy fables. How do you know? Because if you are a Christian and you believe in the Messiah, this blessing will fall upon all of you. Because the Messiah himself, has this blessing bestowed upon him and all the other righteous, Bana Betu, the righteous have this blessing bestowed upon them. The Most High. You don't have to go scamming for money. You don't have to do no hustle, man. Look, that's why people got to hustle now. Why you think you see all the stuff going on in Africa right now? Why you think they came and said Africa cannot be allowed to be what? It's not just about Africa. It's about the land of the Tata nZambi and Mfumu. Because that's what he gave over to Abana. Nzingi, they say, they call him. This is Abraham. And he shall gain the rain of thy seed, and thou shalt sow the ground withal, and the bread of the increase of the ground, and it should be fat and plenteous. You got black people right now, black, they can't even, they got to go to the soup kitchen daily. This is how stupid the world has become. with the way they believe these leaders. They got all the fatness up here and they just doling it out how they see fit. We're in tax season right now in America. They taxing the brakes off the middle class while they standing up there, big old fat bankers, big old fat piggy bank, laughing at you. Because they robbed the Most High. Well, the man robbed Tata. That's what it really means. They have robbed him and his whole nation already. The church is lying to you. Tithes and offering don't ever have nothing to do with that. Now they have to come out with the truth. Oh no, it's still the indulgences, garbage, like what happened with Rome when they were in the plagues. Oh, they're gonna get you. The church was broke. Oh yeah, the credit gonna get you to heaven. Here, give us some money. That's why they don't understand. When you serve the church, they take everything from you. Now what you own belongs to us. That's why they don't want Catholicism to leave Africa or any place else. Because they running the show. They the banker. They got the people up in England running the bankers. Now they put it all in Rome. Oh, bring the assets. You think the Catholic, they so hypocrites talking about you need to treat people right, and they sitting up there on billions in their own place. The devil is a liar. That's the masquerade. People, we telling you. Oh no, these priests and everything, they're so nice. The devil does not come to you pissed off all the time. He can pretend to be nice. He can do good things and make it look right because he know what you worship. You don't know what you worship. That's the mockery of what Kuso Kongo said. They know what you worshiping. You don't know. Kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and thy queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee. This is why the prophet said, I see kings and queens as servants. Let me see if I can find that scripture. I forgot it. This is the reversal. I hope I can find it. That's why the one guy did the video about how they treat certain black people, that they had a word. Here it is. Ecclesiastes 10:7. This is why, this is the reversal of that. See, they don't put this in the Bible for a reason. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. That's why the people don't know that the world has been lied to. This is why they really hate black people, especially the negroes, the Bantu people. This is why they hate Congo people. This is why they said, no, we served you. We're not going to let you do the opposite no more. And this was all, look what it said. It wasn't just the people you're calling. It's right here. It was everybody. All the descendants of nZambi, All of these children served the Bantu people. History is a lie. So that's why to be scattered among the nations. Deuteronomy 28. When you disobey Tata nZambi, was crucial. Do you see why they don't want to put this in the Bible? Because then people are going to say, wait a minute. There's only one group of people that fit the opposite of this. There's only one, wait a minute. We don't see this happening to our belief. Do you see the Muslims having this blessing? Look what's going on. None of the Abrahamic beliefs. Okay? For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Is that not in Psalms? You think that just applies to Kusa Congo? Oh, that was for the Messiah. No! He was showing you that. When you walk in the way of Tata nZambi, the angels will keep you safe from harm. No weapon against you shall prosper. That's why I want to read this scripture that's called, where did it go? It's about Judah, Yaoundé. This is going to blow your mind. This is the testament of Yaoundé, Judah. That's why we say, Luvuvamu Yala. The fourth, the number 4. Yaoundé, the fourth of Yakuba and Leah. Remember I told you Eswe is always Esau. You see Princess Leia, the twin thing in Star Wars is actually this the scripture mockery. The copy of the words of Yaoundé, what things he spake to his sons before he died. They gathered themselves together, therefore, and came to him and said to them, hearken, my children, to Yaoundé, Yuda, your father, Tata. I was the 4th son born to my father, Yakuba, and Leah nZolele, and my mother's name was Yuda, and my mother named me Yuda, saying, I give thanks to Tata nZambi. Tonda Tonda. That's what his name means. Ask any Christian, what does Judah mean? Go ask them. Hey, what does his name mean? Because he had given me forth a son also. I was swift in my youth and obedient to my father in everything. And I honored my mother and my mother's sister. This is why Kusa Congo came from the house of Yaoundé. It was predestined that way. And it came to pass when I became a Muntu, not man, my father belaka at me, saying, thou shalt be a king prospering in all things. So we know that there's more to the whole concept of kings. But how does this work that nZambi chooses? This is not telling the full story about what happened with nZambi like we know. The Most High picked the king, we complained. Or picked those who were supposed to be above us and we complained. That's why he was angry. Now, did they make a mistake? Yeah. They went selling things they shouldn't have. This is why we say the whole Bible is not fully true. He picked who? Saul. And Saul disappointed him. Did he think he didn't know that was going to happen? Yeah, because he's putting his people to the test. Because he comes first always. That's why he said every king we'd have a problem. They would make mistakes. We're in captivity because a king who made a mistake right now. Thou shalt be a king, prospering in all things. And Tata nZambi showed me favor in all my works, both in the field and in the house. I know that I raised a hind and caught it. I know that I raised a hind and caught it and prepared the meat for my father and did eat. So he had speed. And the roles I used to master in the chase overtook all that was in the plain. Listen to this. I took a wild mare and overtook and caught and tamed it. Hey. You think that, listen to what this. You think that it was only, watch this. Ntinu David who killed a lion? Watch this. I slew a lion and plucked the kid out of his mouth. Wait a minute. That's supposed to be the story of who? David. I took and bare its paw and hurled it down the cliff, and it was crushed. I took a bear by its paw and hurled it down the cliff, and it was crushed. There were bears in Africa. Could be. They put him in the Jungle Book that was in India. I outran the wild boar, and seizing it as I ran, I tore it in asunder. You see, we're trying to tell people they don't put this stuff in the Bible for a reason. Because when you're supposed to be peculiar people unto yourself, this is what we're talking about. Do you see any of this happening with the Christians today? Or they got to always use a gun? Can they go run down and chase a boar and tore it asunder? That's the Holy Spirit, by the way, doing this. Can they go take a bear by the paw and throw it down? You see why it was so stupid for us to walk away from Tata nZambi. And listen to this. A leopard, where the leopards at? A leopard in Heba leaped upon my dog, and I caught it by the tail and hurled it on the rocks, and it was broken in twain. He jacked up a leopard. This is Yaoundé. I found a wild ox feeding in the fields and seized it by the horns. Whirling it around, stunning it, and cast it from me and slew it. Now, could this be why they do steer wrestling? When the two kings of the Canaanite came sheathed in armor against our flocks, and much people with them, single-handedly I rushed upon the king of Hazor and smote him on the greaves and dragged him down, and so I slew him. And the other, the king of Tapua, as he sat upon his horse, I slew, and I so scattered all his people. This is Yaoundé, Judah. Now, why don't see? Is the Prime Minister Netanyahu doing these things? Is the Pope doing this? Hey! Is your pastor doing this? Now listen to this one. Akor, the king, a man of giant stature. So it was only David whose faced Goliath, that was it? No, man. We've been fighting these people. They've been giants for a while now. Hurling javelins before, and behind us he sat on horseback. I took up a stone of 60 pounds weight and hurled it and smote his horse and killed it. Does this sound like not what David did with the rock and hit Goliath? Mm-hmm. I fought with this other for 2 hours and clave this twain sheep. I fought with the others for 2 hours and I clave his shield in twain and chopped off his feet and killed him. Tata nZambi is the God of love for everybody. Why are they killing people like that? And as I stripped off his breastplate, behold, 9 men, his companions, began to fight with me. And I wound my garment on my hand, and I slung stones at them and killed 4 of them, and the rest fled. And Yokubi, my father, slew Bilasap, king of all the kings of the kings, a giant king of all the kings, a giant in strength 12 cubits high. Dude, people, we've been fighting these giants for a while. It ain't just Davidi. And fear fell upon them, and they were ceased warring against us. Therefore, this is why they know if the Bantu people, the Bakongo people, the Bana nZambi reunite, do you see the power? Do you see the Gentiles wielding this power? Or are they afraid of the fallen angels that they keep cowering to when we whooping these people, man? We whooping the hybrids. We whooping these hybrids. That's what they sitting there bowing down and you this and you that. Whooping the giants, yo. No problem. Therefore, my father was free from his anxiety in the wars when I was with my brethren. For he saw in a vision concerning me that the Malakia might follow me everywhere, that I should not be overcome. For he saw in a vision concerning me that an angel of might follow me everywhere, that I should not be overcome. Whooping up on some people by himself. And in the south there came upon us a greater war than that of Second. And joined the battle array with my brethren, and pursued 1,000 men, and slew them 200 men and 4 kings. And I went up on the wall and slew 4 mighty men. So we captured Hazor and took all the spoil. Man, look here. People want to believe what they want to believe. Like I said, I'm against nobody belief how they want to believe. You go want to believe what you want to believe. But this is the Holy Spirit doing this. This is a Maleki Congo. This is who Bana Betu are. Okay. I'm going to skip to page 442. I'm going to do that real quick. This is when Yakubi, he fought against the Ninevites. The Ninevites, as you know, yeah, the war against the Ninevites. This is the whole thing. This is the part when Yakubi, this is what he was talking about, because they came back against us. In this portion, it talks about how Yaoundé and Lewi went up against the Ninevites. These are the descendants of Nimrod. So now you understand why the Creator was always frustrated when his people would bow down to the gods of the Babylonians. When he himself sent Malikis in his power to destroy the people that follow these gods through us. And so now, in our arrogance of our ancestors and ignorance of those who decided to argue, rather than having the Most High continue to be against our enemies, oh, now God loves everybody. God, Jesus loved everybody. But yet, they didn't show that when they were whooping your behind on the plantation. Oh, but Jesus loved everybody, right? God loves everybody, right? They don't show that when they're out here, okay, talking trash to you. And how we do each other. Even in the church house, you got people hating on each other. The Most High does love a good deed. Niceness is expected. I told you, his law is universal. But we are listening to fables. When Shaitani laid low the Gentiles and he masqueraded, he taught them lies so that they would be what? Robots. That's why they act the way they act today. That's why you can't tell them nothing. They are already mind and conditioned to believe everything they hear is true, even in the schoolhouse. And these people laughing and saying, we're giving you false information. That's why you can go tell them about outer space and all this other stuff. Oh yeah, science and this. And they made it up through the alchemists that they worship. The same God that was tricking these Ninevites is tricking them now. Same one. The same God who was deceiving the seed of Cain, doing it again. Same one. Having us believe the medications. Oh yeah, God made this. These pastors are working for the pharmacy people just as much as the doctors are. Tata nZambi does not deal in synthetic. The Creator doesn't. That's why when people do the real stuff, it's a threat. When you get real healers out here doing real things, people say, well, oh, herbs take a lot longer now. Do you know why? Because they've already done the damage. That's why they can bring all the herbs out they want now. after they have already passed all this stuff through your bloodline. Because you believed it, and you have the gatekeepers up here going right along with it. And they're going down the drain right with them. The Most High says it in the Bible. The tares among the wheat. The problem is you've been conditioned to think Christianity, we're not the tares. We're the wheat, all of us. Really? Then why don't you manifest the power that they're telling you? And why are you always sick if you don't need a doctor? Like he said, I didn't come for the sick, for those who are well. I came for those that are sick. Do you not see the whole purpose of casting out demons is to make you feel better? So then what is sickness? The whole purpose of casting out demons is to get rid of the sickness. But what are these pastors preaching you in the pulpit? That's the whole purpose of casting out a demon. Oh, but then the people in the hospital, oh no, these diseases are not demons. Then what is the pastor for? What's he coming to what are you praying about? The Messiah has thrown you into that sickbed with Jezebel because that is in your church. That's why your kids don't act right and don't listen during the service. This is why they're not showing you the respect anymore that you deserve as a parent. You bringing curses upon your household, doing pagan practices. This is why when they get older, you having issues. This is why they're getting led into stuff that's going to turn around and bite their behind in the kingdom. The Most High don't see none of this. All he sees is what they did is to rebuild Cain's world. That's it. And you playing right along with it and bringing your people with it. Just like they did in the days of Noah. But they hiding it. And now they setting up this whole scenario to destroy Bantu people. Bakongo, nZambi, every last one of us. They trying to destroy Tata nZambi's children scattered to the four corners of the earth. And you just hoop-de-doop-de-doo, okay. I believe in fables and don't see that they about to take me out. Welcome to the days of Noah. That's exactly what they were doing. Both the children of Seth and the children of Cain. The righteous were allowed to die before the flood came. We're seeing the repeat. But now this time the righteous must go back home. You're going to see what's about to happen. All of these scriptures are not in the Bible for a reason. Because they know they themselves don't even have all the scriptures for that reason. You've been played. You've been had. You've been hoodwinked. I'm going to say just like we had the anniversary of Malcolm X. You've been had. You've been hoodwinked. You've been led astray. You've been bamboozled. You better believe it. I'm saying it again. You've been bamboozled. You've been took. But I'm not sending you to, who. I'm sending you back to Tata nZambi and Mfumu, in spirit and in truth, not believing anybody else that's bringing you fables. They have the truth, and they're going to feed you the lies all day long. The Holy Spirit is needed to discern Scripture. That's why you don't understand it. The Holy Spirit is needed to teach you Scriptures that's not written down. The Holy Spirit is needed to show you what power is. I'm going to say it again. You walk like the Messiah with full power, there's no way you're going to be walking up in a church somewhere. And they're not going to try to stop you. They're lying to you. You walk up there with the Most High, you in nZambi, you carry the power of the Most High in you, the CIA coming to your house. Mark my words. The rabbi coming to your house. Mark my words. So they don't give it away. They doing stuff in secret too. Don't think they're not trying to do sorcery over this way. And nZambi is exactly what you just read with what happened with Yaoundé, Yuda. Tossing a bear down by his paw. How big is a grizzly? Took that. One hand. Like he was nothing. Took a lion. Break it. Give me that sheep back. I want to see how many people. I want them. I need the Most High for that. You see a dog come picking up your. You see people do get strength though. Give me back my animal. Can you see people that they go and fight? That there was a slave. They talked about it. A woman. She fought the alligator for her child. Give me back my child. Fought that alligator. A Bantu. Tore that alligator up. Give me back my child. I'll go into this later because I've been on it too long. I gotta go do some stuff. But anyway, all praises to Tata nZambi and Mfumu, our Congo Yave. Have a wonderful weekend. If you have the Sambwadi, enjoy. I'm gonna do something there. And all I'm gonna tell y'all, if you're gonna continue to listen to fables, expect that strong delusions gonna now capture you. The fulfillment of it. Because now comes the biggest and strongest delusions you're ever going to witness. When they're going to try to fulfill everything that they've lied to people about. Masquerading it as what it really is. A collection of the tears. And they know that. All right. Sambololo, Zola Queen, is in a way Yave Congo Kutwala. May Congo reign. I'm going to continue to pray hard for our Bakongo people because Kwatulendo is about to make a grand shakeup. nZambi and Mfumu is about to show you who your imposters are and who the real ones are. Watch. You're going to fall over. Many people about to fall out. Wait a minute. I thought he was somebody, that person was one of us, the good guys. I thought that wait a minute, that person was the good guy? You're going to fall out. You underestimated the Most High about what he did. He will let you believe whatever you want to believe if you don't check it. You got to check. Hey, is this right? You better check it. You don't check, you can believe whatever you want. And the Messiah, he will not, none of the Malakis will not, the Umbasi, the angels, they will not let you believe otherwise until you ask. The Most High gonna say, hey, he want to believe that, she want to believe that, it stays there until they change, until they figure it out. Because that's not true. Let them, that Mwanda, the Mwanda Velala will make you believe, okay, you in that, that's an alternate reality for you. Telling you, there's a lot of alternate realities out here that you be believing, like, okay, when it's gonna be lifted, whoo, when the Puff the Magic Dragon spells come to an end, the Wizard of Oz, when he on lockdown, people gonna pass out. Oh my gosh. Watch. When that dragon's on lockdown, man, you're gonna pass out. All praises. Ingita. Hallelujah.